Time is moving quickly, no question about it. The congressman's right, and with only just over a week left until the primary, it's really ticking fast. So we appreciate your time. We know every second counts at this stage. It's very valuable.
Yeah.
We have about 5 minutes left for small business people from Michigan to ask the candidate questions.
I have a quick question. Scott Danik. You mentioned creating a dogfight in Lansing if you go after right to work right away. But reducing spending is one of the main things that you've talked about. Everyone that I've spoken to says at the state level, one of the number one issues mid to long term, is the unfunded health care liabilities.
Right.
That's a structural reform. How would you envision that kind of a reform taking place, but yet still drawing in one of two sides of that argument, which would normally say, don't touch it?
No, you have to bring it in. It's about, with health care and pensions, it's about a $50 billion unfunded liability. It will, again, be a drag on investment coming into the state because people are going to say, wow, am I going to go into a state that has $50 billion of unfunded liabilities? Someone's going to have to pay. We're going to have to sit down with state employees. The pension is a legal obligation. Health care is a moral obligation. Go through them and make the adjustments. Hopefully, I'm not saying any of this will be easy. The thing is, you got to figure out what fights you're going to get involved with and which fights you think that you can win. I think the people and the public will be with you on bringing public sector pay and pensions and benefits in line with the private sector. That's a fight that is winnable. All right. Some of these other ones, I think, are you're not going to win. So you got to go after the ones that are achievable and make a difference. I think this is one of them.
How much of that is going to be dependent on whether or not the Obamacare legislation actually becomes law in 2014? I mean, have you looked at that, and what's the contingency?
Well, I think what you can say about health care right now is that it's totally uncertain exactly what it's going to do. But I think what will happen is that a lot of the responsibilities from health care will move away from employers. It will move away from the employer of the state as an employer. It will move over to the federal government. It may actually help, but it will not give us a good health care system. That's the problem.
Right.
Congressman, could you explain to the public your position on the sales tax on services?
Yeah, the sales tax on services is part of will only happen if we have fundamental tax reform in the state, which means we get rid of the Michigan business tax, we get rid of income tax, we get rid of the Michigan business tax, the income tax, and personal property tax. And at that point in time, we will take a look at expanding the sales tax to services, but we'll go through each industry and each service area separately to make sure that we understand whether it is appropriate to apply a sales tax in that area and at what rate. We've got to go through this in a planned, professional way versus what they did with the Michigan business tax, and very, very carefully. We've got to get the tax code right this time, or we will kill Michigan for a long time.
Are you saying that you include the possibility of a tax on services?
I'm saying that I include the possibility of a tax on services if it's part of overall tax reform, which gets rid of and constitutionally prohibits the business tax and an income tax and the personal property tax. But, adding a sales tax to services as another tax along with all the ones that we have today, absolutely not.
There's a lot of talk when you get into that situation of picking winners and losers, who gets taxed and who doesn't.
Oh, we do that all right now.
Yeah.
Okay, we do that all right now with with what the president did on Thursday. We got a company that won. They're getting $300 million of federal, state, and local tax exemptions. We're going to go for a much more transparent and a system that gets away from picking winners and losers. Absolutely.
We got 2 minutes left for one quick one, if you like.
I just have a quick question, Peggy Doty, regarding the inequity in the property tax, real estate property taxes in the state of Michigan. Once again, they're picking winners and losers. You could have a multi-million-dollar primary home, and it's exempt, but if you have two modest homes, you're penalized.
That's right. I think one of the things I want to go back, we are a tourism state. With the non-homestead tax, we are pricing Michigan out of the tourism market. People are buying second homes, but they're just buying them somewhere else. We've got to go back and we've got to fix that inequity, both for the people in Michigan and for people outside of the state, so that they again start picking Michigan to build one of our key industries, which is tourism. I want them to come here. I want them to spend a lot of money here. I want them to own second homes here. I'd like them to own third homes here and fourth homes here. Okay? And if they own 5, I might give them a tax break on the 5th.
What is the most important reason that we should pull the lever for you at the primary? Why should you be the next governor?
I think we're talking about it in our ad. I bring the right type of attitude, competence, civility, and I think bottom line, it's leadership. It's about leadership. Who can come into this town and help bring Michigan back and provide the leadership, get government out of the way so that the people of Michigan can do what they do best, which is, just invigorate and grow this state.
What's the quality that you have that makes it possible for you to get that done?
It's the experience and the training that I've had. I worked for Herman Miller. Herman Miller is one of the companies that is recognized worldwide for how it trains leaders. It's not only a great furniture company, it's a great incubator for leadership and applying servant leadership concepts into the people that work there.
All right, he's Congressman Pete Hoekstra, leading candidate for governor right now on the Republican side. Thank you so much for the time today.
Hey, great. Thank you.
Just so everybody knows, all candidates have been invited, Republican or Democrat. Suzanne Heward, the founder of Mid-Michigan Business Wrap.
That's a wrap.
Hey, good. Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.